Okay, so good afternoon once again, and thanks for joining us on Humanist Discussions. Today, we are going to focus on what is wrong with Ghana, our politics, and then the role of religion. But before then, I would like you both to introduce yourselves and start with you.
Okay, so I'm Kwabena Chukwuesiako, the current president of the Humanist Association of Ghana. I'm an engineer and an activist.
I'm Nene Magoteo Donko. I'm also a humanist and I'm a teacher by profession.
Okay, so I'm also Ifanaki Okran. I sell makeup and then I'm the moderator for today. So to begin with, I'd like to know, do you think Ghana is a secular country or religious?
Nene, you want to start? Okay, so I used to think Ghana was secular until sometime this year when the Supreme Court kind of like dashed my dreams about the whole idea. Because at first we used to think that, because the Constitution allows for freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of speech, then we wouldn't have to consider it anything other than secular. However, when the talks of building a cathedral came on and some people took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court interpretation of our constitution is that governments can now influence or direct policies towards promoting one religion or another. That automatically means that Ghana is no more a secular nation. And so in my opinion, Ghana is technically not a secular nation.
Okay, so in line with what he said, Ghana, we know really there is a definition, a working definition for Ghana, that's a secular state. But then we know, we walk through the nation, we know that the nation is very religious, so we can't make that claim that Ghana is a religious country. And it happens. In Holland, there was a time in the 70s and the 80s, because of the high trend of pornographic activity and sex-related businesses in Holland, they called it a pornocracy. So Ghana can't run away from the term a religious country. We are actually, in actuality, we are a very religious country. So we don't need to cajole ourselves into defining ourselves as a secular state. We are very religious.
Okay, so do you think religion affects democracy?
Absolutely. Any idea that lets you think that you are better off than another person just because of how you believe, I think it's problematic and it affects any democratic institution. More so than not, what is happening in Ghana is that people take their beliefs into governance, generalizing on whatever they believe and trying to make legislation or policies that covers everybody else. They have personalities. And that is where the main problem lies when it comes to democracy.
Do you think religion can be separated from politics?
Again, religion is politics. So it all depends on how informed the populace is, right? The democracy as an idea cannot work without an informed populace. And that's one of the reasons why I don't see Ghana practicing democracy currently, because the populace is not informed. You know, the premise of democracy is you have an informed populace. The populace understands the issues, and the populace are then voting on the issues. And then majority, through the understanding, chooses which solution is best for them. However, we don't have an informed populace. We have only a 52-54% literacy rate in Ghana, which hopefully the new policy by government will solve. But then we still have a problem where people do not really understand how things work, how societies work.
If you look at religion and politics, since time immemorial, they've been in bed. There is no way you could talk about religion without talking about politics. In fact, what we have seen in history is religion usually topples politics. There is no way religion has ever gone below politics. They are either in bed with them or they go above them. So that is why for our democracy as a nation, we need to be very careful about religion. Europe went into an age where they called it the Dark Ages just because of religion. Just because a certain God figures decided to dictate economy, sociality, everything that has got to do with the human function. So from what my brother is saying, it is very scary to look at a country who is not doing anything in as much to address our literacy, but then we claim to be practicing a democracy, and we even claim to be the gatekeepers of African democracy based on our precedences. So it's very scary for us to be so religious, and the data is there, the facts are there. We make most of our decisions aligned with our religions. So for Ghana, there is a big problem when it comes to religion.
So Cornelius' question goes to you. Brought in the cathedral. Do you think religion has much influence on the decisions of this government?
Absolutely. Like if you look at during the campaign time, it was ultra religious. Like there was a lot of Jesus, there was a lot of the Lord's doing,
Isaiah.
There was a lot of prophecies flying around. Yeah. So basically, this government or those in charge feel like they've been put here by God. And I'm not saying this in a vacuum. They themselves have on numerous occasions invoked the fact that God has put them here, that this is their time. God has put them here. And I know most of it is placated to the religious populace. However, we should know that politics is it's not just words in a vacuum. Like it has a purpose. You know, so they are really using this religion thing as a conduit in which to carry out their policies. You can tell from like most of the policies that they are like from the cathedral to everything that they are trying to do. They always must have like a church or like a God backing in order for them to feel like, okay, this is a policy that they can be comfortable with.
So do you think religion is bad for democracy?
For me, I believe strongly religion is bad for democracy. Not looking at how they even formulate their policies, but looking from how the populace reacts to policies. Like when policies are failing, you get a couple of people who decide to pray or pour libation or rain curses at the current administration. You see, for a population who think resorting to religious practices is the thing that can check their government, means that we have a long way to go. So religion is really putting us on our knees instead of standing on our feet, because there are a lot of people, most of them say Nyame betua MPP for naka, literally saying that God will punish the government in power. But then when those in the economies that we look at, when they wanted transformations, they actually had to sacrifice so many demonstrations, sit-down demonstrations to get their views across. But Ghana, we don't see that. What we see is, even if we see a campaign we saw Occupy Ghana. Occupy Ghana, after a certain oversight, we know that it was politically truncated. So whatever we do in this country, it's not based on information, it's not based on data, it is based on popular views or opinion or religion, and that is crippling. If you look at it,
I would agree with you, but then I also want to be a bit more nuanced about the role of religion in all of this. Yes, religion can be a force for negative when it comes to politics. However, it can also be a positive force. It depends on how it's utilized, right? So, civil rights movements, for instance, is a clear example of where religion played a serious role in rotating back actions that we admit religion caused. You understand? So even though religion can be a negative force in a democracy, it can also, when invoked properly. Desmond Tutu is a civil rights activist. At the same time, he's fighting for LGBTQI rights in South Africa, and he's a reverend. You get it? So, like, depending on how it is utilized, right? because of its ability to amass people, to give them a unifying front, to give them a myth that they can all buy into. It can either be used for good or for bad. And that is what in politics, you need all the available tools. And I believe one of the available tools, if we want to transform Ghana, one of the most important tools that we have to look at is religion.
But then, from a Desmond Tutu point of view, I believe we all look at Desmond Tutu. If you look at Desmond Tutu, he doesn't go with religion a lot of the time. You understand? He doesn't, because if he goes with his religious credentials, there are going to be blockades for him. But what he does is he resorts to reasoning. I listened to him on his LGBTQ stance, and it was seriously a matter of what? Reasoning, not a matter of his religious position.
It's also a matter of God's love, selling an idea of love that is not encased or like it's not a limiting kind of love.
But then what I want to say, if he took his religious mode, he wouldn't have been able to be effective. Because there is a situation where Desmond Tutu had to talk about polygamy, where he was involved in a situation, he had another lady. You understand? And he came out to defend himself on a very reasonable front. So this is a man we can see from precedences that he is not guided, quote unquote, or solely by his religious beliefs.
But also by reason.
By reason.
And I
think Desmond Tutu is a man of reason, more than we could accolade him religion.
I would agree with that. But then with him, right, again, with most religious people, right, who are liberal, who are forward-thinking, who are progressive, right, what happens is that they recognize that empathy is more important than anything else. That love is more important than anything else. Most of them take their cue from, I think, 1 Corinthians 13, right?
Yeah.
Most of them take their cue from that, okay, of all of the three, faith, hope, love is paramount.
Yeah.
So that's where they take their cue from, that love should be higher than faith or my hopes. You get it? So I don't mind religion as much as depending on what that force is being used for, because then again we also need that mobilizing force when we want certain things done, and wherever people's motivations are coming from, I don't think we should care that much about it as much as the changes, the progress that we want to see in our communities.
Okay, but to nail that one down to faith, hope, and love in the Bible, looking at it contextually, the transliteration has not helped us a lot. Love, what the Jews wanted to say, or what the Hebrew translation or the Greek wanted to put across, was that love was the greatest motivator in humanity, but it is not the greatest virtue on earth. That's not so debatable, because most of the things that have been on this planet have not come out of love. Yeah. So I think this was something I discussed sometime when I was studying the Bible. So love is the greatest motivator. I think it's something we can try and look into. It motivates people, it triggers people, but then it is not the major force for movement. So based on that, for me, religion has no element. For me, I don't see religion having an element of a huge transformation, because religion, where it presents itself as an agent of transformation, in the aftermath you realize that it gets truncated by another expectation of the same religion.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and moderator, permit me to just clarify some things in like a few minutes. So some of our best cosmologists in this world, right? Some of our best cosmologists in this world, people who study the stars and all of that, are friars.
Yeah.
In the Catholic order. Yeah. Now their motivation for studying the cosmos is their search for God. However, the scientific data that they get is for all of us.
Yeah.
So people's motivations, I think we shouldn't worry about that as much as whether their actions are going to be progressive or not. So take again civil rights. Desmond Tutu, all of those people, Martin Luther King, super religious, super all of that. Their motivation for doing what they are doing, their motivation for seeking justice, their motivation for seeking equity, their motivation for fighting for the underprivileged is God says we should love our neighbor as ourselves. That is their motivation. Whether I believe in God or not, I'm not going to step on their motivation. All I'm going to say is, good for you. Now come and let us work. So same in Ghana here. We have a lot of Christians who believe in love. We have a lot of Muslims who believe in love. As long as, though their motivation is going to, whatever their motivation is, as long as they are going to come and join the struggle in fighting for minority rights, in fighting for change, in fighting to speak truth to power in terms of the government and all of that, I think I'm okay with religion in that aspect. As long as they want to join the fight, join the struggle.
So if you are okay with religion in that aspect, give us pragmatic steps you think religion can be used as a tool to move the Ghanaian society, especially in regards to LGBT.
Okay, so there has been a movement by religious people in the LGBT community to balance their faith and at the same time their sexuality. And there are rainbow churches in Ghana. There are churches where they accept LGBTQI. There are pastors who are now probably coming out and say, okay, you don't care, God loves you anyway. In creating the acceptance is always the first step, because in creating the acceptance as religious leaders, as churches, you are saying, oh, you have a space where you can feel comfortable in. You have a space where you can discuss your issues. Then from there, it can graduate towards, oh, then we have a space where we can form political movements and ask for our rights. You understand? So the power of religion, creating spaces that and then creating a situation where people can buy into a particular mode is there. And I think instead of throwing that power away, we can actually utilize that power.
So what's your take on comprehensive sexuality education? There was a debate some weeks ago.
I think we've had a lot of conversations on this. And then I'll just say a few things, then I'll leave up the rest to you. See, there is the idea in Ghana that politics is bad, and because of that, a lot of good people stay away from politics. And what that has created is vacuum for a lot of negative people to be in politics. Politics is just about power. It's about getting power from the people, getting power to influence and make decisions. That's just about it. When it came to CSE, certain elements in Ghana decided that CSE is a slippery slope towards the legalization of homosexuality. When nobody was asking for it, nobody was even talking about that. But they wanted to use that as a way to get attention to their fight, right? And we know them. We know the former names. We know the Christian rights in Ghana. We have a lot of backing from the states. We know what they are trying to do. CSE was a simple thing. Let us teach our children about sexuality. Let us teach our children about their reproductive health. And it was graduated, everything. It was a well-planned something. Age-wise, depending on your age, then the information you get. All of that was beautifully done. And then somebody was like, because there is sexuality in it must be about LGBT rights and sexuality. So to me, it was about people using their influence, their voices, like in a negative political way, to push their own agenda. And it's our job also to find a way to use our spaces and our voices to push positivity.
Okay, so religion in line with CSE, mostly politics is about vested interests, profits and vested interests. Now, the main key holders of politics in any setting, in Ghana, we know that religion is a major factor. We can see that, like Kwabena said from his submission, we can see Ghana, the campaign, MPP was talking about Isaiah, a certain prophecy from God pushing them on. You understand? So there is that basic thing about religion in our politics. We can't deny that. But then, like I have always been saying, religion and its tendency to corrupt is very high. And we see that transcending into our politics. Our politics is not scientific. In Ghana, our politics is not scientific. It's about profit and vested interest. So that is what brings the major problem. Anything that comes, the CSE is a 15-year researched agenda of the UN. They have done the data work, the fiscal policies and all that, and they are now pushing it on little by little. It's not as if the UN got up from somewhere and there was a Satan somewhere who instructed them to start this campaign of CSE. They actually knew the data. They knew that 150,000 kids who didn't know about their sexualities were defiled by people who were supposed to be in high repute of religion. So that age gap, when you look at child prostitution, if you are bold, take 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. and drive your car through Medina Circle and look at the children who are in prostitution and the way they will even talk to you. They will ask you, they are calling you and you are not coming. You understand? It is not as if their age is the gap. It is the societal exposure that is there. So the debate about CSE being integrated into our education is very important, but we see it being truncated by popular opinion. And in Ghana, when we say popular opinion, we mean religious opinion. So we are going to suffer as a nation. Nations will warm up to this, and it will take us a certain 15-20 years before we get along, because this is not CSE is not a matter of non-science. It is something that has been researched, and the necessity has come for our children to know. But then we have religion impeding the fluidity of CSE. So what I would say about religion and CSE is our government needs to graduate into being more scientific. Like Fee was saying about we using our spaces to also raise our voice. That is why I enjoy a space like this, because something like this can go out. Religious opinion is not the only opinion in this world.
It shouldn't be the opinion that actually matters.
That matters. Science, in fact, when you look at nature, it is what is reproducible or what can be studied to benefit mankind that matters. So every study that is reproducible and can help mankind should be at the core of our deliberations. It shouldn't be because a God said so. It shouldn't be because a certain geopolitics said God said so. So Ghana should move towards a very scientific front, and that will help us.
So what do you think? Do you think religion should be completely obsolete or something?
If I had that glorious, I had that opportunity to just wipe away religion from Ghana, I will gladly do it.
You'd have to be more specific.
For me, I have looked at all the modalities of a functional society, even not to even go so obscene about all, but then I look at most of the modalities that will make a functional society, and I don't think religion is very necessary for a functional society.
Would you agree that some form of myth-based system is necessary for a constructive society?
No, please. I think we have conditioned ourselves to believe so, but
now,
then
I set a trap for you and you fell into it. The entirety of our society, even democracy, is like all of this is the idea of money, the idea of government. All of this, we pulled it out from thin air. So whatever it is,
but that doesn't make it a myth.
It's a myth. It's
no
definition of a myth. It's a myth. Whether we are currently making the government the god, or we are making a god, or we are making the individual the gods, we create myths in which we structure society around. None of these things exist. None of democracy doesn't exist. Human rights do not exist. We pull all of these things and then we give certain values to them, and then we make the assumption that okay, then they exist. Therefore, and then we go ahead and create structures to protect them.
I think what you are using wrong is the word myth.
I'm not using the word myth wrong.
It's not a myth to aspire to create a constructive society. If anything that I aspire to do, I will start from somewhere. Democracy is...
And you don't see religion doing the same thing?
What I see about religion is the end point. You understand? For religion, there's that for me, I don't see religion as progressive, based on the main fact that they make polar positions. Okay, they make polar positions. A God said this, a God wants this. So whether it is 1982, whether it's 1755, that God's position is ecclesiastic.
Okay, hold on. But hasn't God changed his mind in the history of? Let's just pick one random religion from thin air and look at its progress. Let's look at the easiest one comes by Christianity or Islam or Shintoism or Hinduism.
But
hasn't God in their history, hasn't God changed his mind? Hasn't their gods changed their mind? Hasn't the position of gods have changed? Hasn't their myths changed?
When we look at their progression of mind changing, we realize that it is them aligning to the society of the time. So for me, I hold it that religion is basically an artificial production of man.
So is everything else, isn't it?
But
isn't democracy a social construct?
What democracy is for me, democracy is, I won't put it as a religion is a fixation. Democracy is an aspiration to do something with politics. Religion is not an aspiration in as much because it has so many polar positions even before you start.
So does democracy. So does the idea of democracy.
Democracy doesn't hold so many polar positions.
Why do we have so many variants of democracy then?
Because it doesn't have polar positions. It doesn't hold poles.
Same reason why we have so many variants of Christianity, right?
We don't.
Because see, when you take a position without looking at the parallels, right? When you take an antagonistic position on one myth without seeing the parallels that it draws to other myths, you fail to see that there are some connectivities between, for instance, democracy and Christianity, or any of our beliefs, right? Any of our beliefs, they have a certain genesis. Then they either graduate, evolve, or die, and then depending on that, all ideas are subject to evolution.
Yeah.
All ideas, including Christianity, including democracy, they are the same. They are ideas.
But ideas are products of men.
Exactly.
You see, religion has that position that a God it has something that has to be done.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, if you tell me a religion is a man trying to construct a very good place for us all to live, I would be okay. But then religion has that position of a God demanding certain things or a God requiring certain things of us.
Yeah, but how do you understand religion? Don't come from the position of the religious.
Okay.
Because for them they are in the bottom.
Uh-huh.
So come to the position from an anthropological point of view. You standing outside looking at the people in the bottom. To you, how does it read?
It reads simply as a man trying to do something to control society.
Make sense of society and try to control society.
Because if a man seeks to make sense of society, a man will be open to the different views and the different realities of people in the society. So a man will not make very polar positions based on society, because God concepts supersede our ages of reasoning. You understand? And if a man wants to look into a religion, okay, and a man will start by saying that there is this stuck position and that everybody has to align, otherwise that person is short of a certain standard. That is where I have a problem with religion.
Okay. There is this set of rules, right? Where it says experiment, data collection, and then you also always have to make sure that your results are reproducible.
Visible, scientific
And if you don't
method.
follow that, you fall short of a standard. How is that different
No,
from-
it doesn't make that imposition that you fall short of a standard.
Oh yeah, you fall short of the scientific standard. Then whatever you're saying is not scientific, isn't it?
It doesn't. It's just there is one view you have to have about science. Science is not an imposition. You understand? Science is
And
not an
the Quran
imposition.
says that religion is not an imposition.
But then we see in their actions.
And by the way, you're also telling me that the world is not flat.
I'm also telling you that the world is not flat. Because of a certain set of understanding that we
I'm
have.
playing the devil's advocate here for all of us to understand that there are parallels between what we hold here and what somebody else holds here.
Of course.
And in seeing and respecting those parallels, we can then be able to make influence on their actions.
Yeah.
Because then we can have a common ground. Oh, you know what? There are parallels between our beliefs. However, yours may be based on faith. Mine is based on reason. That's the only place where conversation happens. Let me explain my position to you using logic. Do you prefer logic? If yes, see if your position also fits into that particular space.
But then look at it. If I am using reason, or we are all using reason to arrive at a conclusion, we are likely, very much likely, to agree and disagree in unison, other than somebody coming from a very God view.
Okay.
You understand? Let me land with this. Like, if I tell you that my motivation for a very uniform and a very harmonious society is a certain Jesus view, or let's say a God view, let me not bottle it into a God view, then it raises so many arguments from our different God concepts. You understand? But then if we are using reason, something that we are trying to use our minds to make constructs to come to something that we can all agree on. At least we can take in the not goods, the goods, half goods, 90% goods, and come to a very verifiable conclusion. But that position of a deity somewhere who requires a certain quality of us, it is not here or not there, because we have seen the generations of what people have done with such ideas from deities, or such impositions they claim were coming from deities, and it hasn't been good.
I understand you. I understand you perfectly. And just to conclude, right? You see, there are certain places where the state is the God. There are certain places where the church is God. And there are certain places where the individual is God. Right? And we've seen how progress works in all of these areas. However, in all of these areas, for a collective effort, right, there needs to be one God, one unifying concept. So either the people buy into the idea of our state, our country, therefore we are fighting for our country, or they buy into the idea of, look, we are all individuals, therefore we are fighting for ourselves. Whoever our God is, whoever are joining, or whatever myth that we are all buying into as a collective, is what is going to determine whether we progress or not. So that said, right, religion has been a unifying front. Europe developed largely because of Christian ideology. They all bought into that myth. So they all had like a place, a starting point for their struggles. If not anything, Grana, we are brothers. We all believe in God. Whether you were born in Romania or you were born in Estonia, you forget about let's not fight. We all believe in God. You get it? So they had a unifying myth. What would be Ghana's unifying myth? Let's take God out. Mm-hmm. What would be Ghana's unifying myth?
But then we can construct it.
Okay.
But then
in the interim, what do we use? Can we use God?
No, not at all. Because from my point of view, I just don't want God to be at the center of our way forward. Because something as simple as CSE, very simple. If you take your time to go to the internet, look at how the CSE movement started, the data that has been collected, the evidences, the reason for the age groups being selected. You realize that these are people who went into thoughts, reason to bring these things out, and it is not against any human gradient. Because in Ghana here, we go to child and sex abuse areas, the catchment. You realize that kids are involved. So what is the excuse for children? I am a teacher, so I wouldn't say I am directly working with kids. The kind of things my kids discuss with me, there is no law anywhere that will tell you that don't discuss this with a child at this age, because it is that kind of imposition can only come from a very religious point of view, as we see. Because all the people I see clamping down on CSE, I see the tangent when they say why. They'll tell you it will corrupt society. What doesn't corrupt in this world? Videography corrupts. People use it for good. This bar is serving as a point for us to share our humanist ideas across. But then some people can come here and come and do something else. So there is nothing that doesn't corrupt. So for that idea of a corruption coming in the form of CSE, I think it is a non-starter. And why is it that people are not seeing it as a non-starter? Because our society is very entrenched in religious positions, and that dictates to our politics. And that is why Ghana, as of the moment, as of now, the way our politics is shaped, we are actually not going anywhere. We are just going to be in that cyclic redundancy for a very long time.
Okay. So since Nene, you do not want any God to be the center of our moving forward, what positive values do you think the absence of religion would have on
now
progress?
For some of the European nations, I'm using them as a model, looking at them as humans, not as objects or blocks. Okay, what they have tried is they've tried to create societies based solely on their need for something scientific. When we say scientific, I'm not using scientific in the very purest term. I'm using it as in a very objective term, where science is just something that's seeking something reproducible, something we can, when we touch, we can leave it for the next generation. That's what science seeks. So when you see a country like Norway, Finland, they are trying as much as they can to produce a nation based on not religious views or not opinions, but then things that we can reproduce. Like, I watched a documentary where the best student in a class had piercings all over her body. Somebody like that in a Ghanaian setting will not even move beyond. She will be struck down by social opinion before she even gets to SHS. But the girl had piercings all over her body, and this girl is a girl who can do calculus by just sitting down for 1 minute. You give her the most complex topic and she breaks it down for you, and she had piercings and tattoos all over her body. So it means that for Ghana, there is that human deficit. We have created blocks that if somebody even dresses like this, the person doesn't qualify into a certain intelligentsia. You understand? And if we are able to create a society where these God concepts are not dictating to our progress, then for sure, I believe, this is where I can put in the word believe. I believe that we are going to go far ahead than where we are now, where religion has to dictate a certain God concept. We have to make ourselves malleable to God concept. It's like, hey, I want this to be done. Will the people align with it because of their God concept? That is what our politicians do with us. When the thing is true and it needs to be done, they will ask, these Christians will not allow this, so let me take my time. And you see, from even hindsight, CSE was being brought to the fore years back, but then governments had to sit on it try to play the politics for it to be delayed. Until recently, it was brought to the fore. So it's not as if it just generated out of nowhere and came here. It means that the politicians know the capital or the vested interest in it and have stored it till now. And now it is acting maybe as a handicap to this government. But it is something that was in their production for a very long time. So religion should be taken out of the bracket. And what I suggest as the way forward is deliberately creating a society where we define our own values. We scientifically look at kindness, the modalities of kindness, the implicit and explicit functions of kindness, what kindness can do, what kindness needs to do, and what we define as our national kindness, what we define as our national empathy. You see, when we do that, nations have done that. Hitler modeled that with Germany. Hitler created a new concept, taught them different things as a nation, because he saw that what wasn't keeping Germany forward was that they had so many political, as at the 20s, Germany had over 20 something political parties creating different ideologies. So Hitler, when he took power, he united them in what? Aryan concepts. You understand? And the people bought along, and in just 4 years, 6 years, Germany was dictating what the world does. So I think deliberately training your people into concepts, into values.
But not Aryan concepts.
Oh, not Aryan concepts. All right.
Devil's advocate for a minute. You mentioned the Nordic regions.
Yeah.
You see, they already have a shared myth of being Nordics.
Yeah.
So they have one thing to look at, right? They already have myths in place that tell them about, like, teach them about being a collective people. So it was easy for them to come together, right? Over there, the individual is not more important than the collective. The collective is more important than the individual. And they've been taught this in their myths through their stories, their poetry. You can see it in their architecture. You can see it in literally their art everywhere, that the collective is more important. The individual, they have even sayings, I forgot the phrase, where it basically says, I think it's the law of Yankton. I may be wrong, but I think it's called the law of Yankton, where, like, you are not supposed to be ostentatious, because being ostentatious is not being a Nordic. You get it? So they have myths in place that help them accelerate. We have a problem in Ghana where we don't even understand what it means to be a Ghanaian. Right? Because you can ask anybody, what does it mean to be a Ghanaian? And we don't have any myths that we've bought into. You know, we have the myth of the Ghanaian hospitality. But that's not even true. You understand it? So again, I'm coming back to the myth. What myths are we going to create? You said empathy. We can create myths around empathy. We can create, and this has to be like social engineering efforts.
Yeah.
Like the Norway you see today, the Denmark you see today, it took billions of dollars and effort by the government to create the people the way they are today.
We waste billions on road construction. The Achimota interchange we have over there, it doesn't even qualify to be called an interchange. But then the construction people said it's an interchange. That thing was supposed to be a year and a half project. It took us 6 years, and we quoted $84 million for that. So I think it all boils down to one thing. We are not looking at our setting scientifically. You understand? You are saying billions. We spend billions on constructing roads. We spend billions on ventures. Even recently, there was this bus acquisition problem that we had. We spent much money doing very petty stuff. So it is just the political vector of the people at the top and the backing of the human capital below to back it up. You understand? So we have a religious front up and we have a religious front below. So when they meet, it's religion, hooray. You understand? But we don't have like the way you are saying that, the literacy rate. You understand? These are the things we need to attack. Because what our politicians are doing is just taking advantage of the laxity in the system. Because they have pumped in so much money into very petty stuff. We can see how much was invested in a football match. Germany didn't spend close to that by even getting to the final. And even their players were made to what? Give that money out. You understand? So I think what we have in Ghana is simply a matter of a misvector. It's it's not even priority. As for priority, we cannot try to create priorities, but we are vectorless, and it is the capital of. I see it as a function of religion, chiefly. I see it as a function.
Non-math people, I think when he said vectorless, he just means we don't have direction.
Oh yeah, that's all. It's like we are making most decisions based on we are not looking at direction. Yeah, we are not looking at what that decision will do in 50 years. We are not looking at what that decision will do in the next 10 years. We are just making the decisions because it will ensure the next electoral victory. That is what our politicians do. From Nkrumah down, we are not excusing anyone. They did things for political expediency. It wasn't looking at the human benefits. You understand? Nkrumah can be compared to what Kagame is doing now. The undercurrent will always overflow and hit you in the face.
So Kwabena, sorry, how do you envision religion being a part of the solution in the country?
I really want religion to be a part of the solution because I don't envision us having a humanist one or atheistic revolution in Ghana. However, I see us having a progressive Christian left. I see people using God as a motivation to be more kind, to be more empathetic to minorities, to speak truth to power. Because that kind of motivation, right, for us humanists, our motivation is our hope for the future. Our motivation is the kind of society that we wish to see. I don't think everybody has that as their motivation. Religion also has the ability to get people involved, to gather people, and that has been one of its greatest assets. You know, get people on board of things. And at the moment you're able to invoke God, you don't need any other reason, right? Whilst we will have to, as humanists, when we are sitting down, you will have to give your calculations, your data. We have to look at all your possible solutions. We have to deliberate and debate it. But for the religious, the only motivation could be God said so. You know, so it may be helpful, for instance, in expediting the process, because we can't get everybody on board with reason. But the majority that we can get on board with that reason, and if religion is willing to fight that battle for us, I am open to that idea. I'm open to Christian leaders standing in front of the pulpit and telling their people, look, God, we say God is love. Therefore, we love LGBT people. And that is the message directly from God. God says love them. God says do not harm them. Oh, God says don't harm albinos, even though some of them are on radio saying you should harm other people. You see? You see? God says love everybody, love the poor. But then God also says that the rich will not go to heaven. So the rich people in the church, please bring all your money, let's go and save the poor. Once we get people like priests, pastors, reverends, stand in front of pulpits, telling their people this. Remember, their people already are buying into whatever you're already telling them. They also, once they buy into this idea, you have a force, you have a movement, right? I don't mind if, like for instance, right, if you're an atheist or a humanist and you believe in aliens, that's a crazy idea. Like, I mean, highly improbable, crazy idea. I'm not going to stop you if you are coming to help me fight.
Of course.
Fight for minority rights. You get it? Same way, I know some people who are flat earthers. Like, we can't throw them away. As long as they keep their flat earth in the house when it comes to fighting for human rights. You get it?
Okay, so from what he's saying, I like what he's saying. I perfectly align in a way. But then what I don't want us to create as people who are trying to create a society of free thinkers is as we are moving forward, we should not let the basis ever, or we should seek to erase that setting where we have people basing their energy or motivation for doing things on God concepts or what God say or what gods are saying. Because in the end, it might work in the interim, but somebody who is charismatic might just pick a scripture and tell you that God was explicit when he said that gays are this, that. So because of that, and you know that charismatism is more of a temperament. You understand? There are people who know a lot, but their temperament doesn't make them pushers. You understand? So if you just get a charismatic person who knows how to talk, knows how to ignite people, and he says that this is what God says, and this is the book that says so, that means that all the 15 years of work that you have done saying that God said we should love, somebody can just take a day or a week and also raise a pulpit and use the same God to wipe all that away. But then if we're able to create a society where we tell you these are the facts, the things that you said you claim that was never there, and someone was trying to position it historically, the evidence, we have it, it is there, they were there. Now they suffered the agency of what? Minorities, like how we have LGBTQ suffering now in Ghana. It's just a matter of minority. It's not a matter of they weren't there. We have that data. Oh, psychologically I don't see. We can explain that to you. You understand? So we should create a society where the language is on science, the language is on evidence, the language is on reason. So in 20 years time, the people there can use the same reasoning to construct. And you see, what reasoning does is, reasoning has that rich ingredient of different opinions, and then taking the best constraints. There's so many different constraints. What we did in linear programming, we take the region R, the region that satisfies us all and addresses all issues. That's what science and reason leads us to. So religion for me is a non-starter.
And then the premise of your argument is that education, or with more knowledge, there will be less stupidity.
Your sarcasm.
You know, I'm not being sarcastic.
But then the sarcasm is true.
I'm trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is this, right? The boundaries of our ignorance are unbounded. We don't even know how ignorant we are. That's the problem.
Okay. That's a presupposition.
Stupidity will always be with us.
No, but it's
always
a very extraordinary presupposition.
No, it's not. It's not. Let me explain. Why I'm saying stupidity will always be with us, right? It's because there are variations in our biology in itself.
Yeah.
Which allows for that. You get it? Our framework is different. Therefore, our biases will be different. The way we see our perspectives will be different. The way we see things will be different. Logic, right, will work differently based on the firmware is different. Yeah. So how we see things, how we process numbers, how we process words will always be different. So even if it becomes a minority, right, there will always be some people who cannot process logic, who cannot process the data there. There will always be some people who have some inherent blockage in their thinking process that they cannot see that 1 + 1 is 2.
But when you're talking about they can't process the data, it's like trying to put data above the human.
If we are not doing that, then we have to accept that humanity, right, has been cursed, and I'm using the religious word cursed, with stupidity. It takes a lot of effort to overcome. That particular deficit. We are not naturally a smart species. We are not naturally smart. We have to overcome a lot to become the way we are. If we just allow ourselves to just exist,
of course,
we will never know.
But
we have to take certain steps. We have to follow certain processes. We have to be actively
But then,
engage.
what we have not explored cannot fall into the category of stupidity.
So what we've not explored is our knowledge. Falls into the category of our ignorance.
Good. But then, even if it's
And ignorance leads to, say it after me, stupidity.
No. What you are saying, if I want to understand you,
Yeah.
what you are saying is because we are ignorant of certain things, okay, and we will not make any concerted effort to go beyond that level.
So
You understand?
we need to make effort. We need to put
Well,
effort. in order
we
to know.
accept we can't know all things, but for you to start using words like ignorance and stupidity,
I'm saying
you see
that-
what science does is, at least for what we know now, let's work with it.
I
You
agree
understand?
with you. I
But
agree with you. But I'm saying that you thinking that having conversations with people, conversations are good. Like that's why we have all of this.
no, creating politics out of reason.
It's all good.
Eh,
It's all good. That will require a total overhaul, a social engineering, a concerted effort on our parts,
Good.
right? That will mean that we have to actually literally stand up from our backs and say, we are going to look for the data. We are then going to take the data and make sure that our policies match the data.
It's not that huge.
It's a huge step. We are not even ready to stand up from our backs and then admit that we have a problem. Then now let's go and look at the data.
It takes leadership, and that's what politics is. Leadership that is carved on something. That's what politics is.
We always think that, for instance, let's use Kagame again. We always think that people like Kagame or Chairman Mao or Lenin were able to do what they did because they were great leaders. The environment in itself was conducive for whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Like Hitler would not have worked if the people in Germany were not racist.
Of course.
You understand? So it's dependent on the environment also. Now the environment in Ghana, are you saying that the environment in Ghana is good? It's such that if we have a Kagame right now or we have a Chemama right now, we can quickly switch and then become like.
No, Kagame has created a climate that is ensuring
He
the
didn't create that
Nkrumah
though.
climate.
You have to understand, he didn't create that climate. That climate is a result of tragedy.
No, but what Kagame, we've known Rwanda after the genocide. It hasn't been this politically correct until Kagame decided to take a certain political tangent. It was the same Kagame who was running the show when Rwanda looked like nothing. But then he decided to take a certain political tangent. And that is what Nkrumah did with Ghana in the 50s. He created a certain autocracy that was so mild in democracy. You understand?
Autocratic democracy.
That's maybe if you are carving a well, but then that's what
That's an oxymoron.
it's an oxymoron. But then that's what Kagame has done with Rwanda now. It's like now he's more like the pivot of everything that goes on, and he has found a way of smartly putting down opposition.
So in the case of Rwanda, right, what they've been able to do is to say the state is God. That's the myth they've created, that the state is God. The state is God. That's why they're able to clamp down on religions and all of that, right? So they are making the state as God. In most European countries, actually.
Could you just say they are making the state superlative rather than say God, to make it look like you're trying to put in a God definition?
I'm intentionally using that language because
Okay.
I'm drawing the parallels.
Okay.
Like, so in that case, right, for instance, if you live in a proper democracy, right, where the state is us,
Yeah.
and we are the state,
Yeah.
right, when we say we want good hospitals, we are not looking to the state to provide it. We know we are going to provide it,
Yeah.
either by proxy through our votes,
Yeah.
or proxy through our taxes. However it is, we know that we are providing these amenities for ourselves.
Yeah.
So in that case, there's a shared relationship. We and the state are all gods. We all take care of ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Whilst in other situations, it becomes the state is removed from, like the state is God, and we don't want to look at the state.
Yeah.
And whatever the state gives us, we'll take it like that.
Yeah.
You get it? So there are that's why I keep using that language, because there are parallels to be drawn from how religion works and how the state works and how we form political movements and all of that.
think, yeah, we are done.
Okay.
But then I would like to ask if anyone has any questions for the panelists. No questions.
Oh, why no questions? This is a very interesting. Okay.
Democracy is allowing corporates and people here moving economically. The default will have to be because Ghana is a religious country. And like you mentioned that the masses are looking for, which I suppose would include the religions. Now in that case, with your advocacy of allowing religion to have this way, how are you going to solve that problem if they are not the focus? How do we work with that?
So what I'm implying is that their ignorance may be on our side, right? What I'm trying to say is I want us to manipulate the system. They take instructions directly from religious leaders without question. Now, if those religious leaders are progressive, then they will not even question the progressive ideas of their leaders.
They have questions.
It's problematic.
No, the idea of making that inclusive because they look after their leaders, which in a rational sense, you have to question that.
Yes. It's a problematic ideology. I understand. What I'm saying is that is the way you can use the properties of religion to be a progressive country. That is the only way I'm seeing possible for us to say, okay, what use can religious organizations be to progress? The way I see it is for them to be instructive, for them to keep playing the same rules they are doing. However, change the language, change the message to a more progressive message. Then the people accept it as is. You get it?
Wouldn't that cease to be a religion?
How different would that be from what is happening right now?
Because religion is chiefly God concepts.
And
Like-
and as long as it's an idea, as long as it's malleable, as long as it can say in the 80s that I don't eat fish on Friday and now every Catholic is eating kinky fish on Friday, as long as we have that ability to
Compromise religion.
no, religion has always been compromised. From day one, we accept that religion is all about cherry picking. So once we accept that premise that religion is all about cherry picking and that people can choose to believe or not to believe, right? And they don't have any reason for it.
But
As
then,
long as we accept that a majority of the people, this is how they process things, we can use that. We can use that.
I think he asked him.
Yeah.
You okay?
I don't know, but today, most of discussion, I have found myself leaning more towards MS submissions. That's what to say, for example, the idea about religion being change the mindset of that looking at the way the Ghanaian society is, expect a religious revolution, probably that will have to be one of the longest revolutions ever.
But
The way the Ghanaian society is set up, the Christian and Islamic side, I don't see
yeah,
overnight.
we need to bust their bubbles.
But I kind of, not that I kind of, I totally agree with Nelly when he says that doing away with it is just, that's the ultimate solution.
Yeah.
Because
That's a long game.
yes, there are some concepts which bring about progress. They are paradoxical to concepts like slavery. Inherently, religion doesn't oppose it. That's why most religions rely on the concept of faith.
Yeah.
Your God says it's this way, so even if your brain is telling you that this is not how it's supposed to be. That's why most religions tell you that the brain, like the workings of the God, you can't fathom how your God thinks because he thinks on the
Yeah.
basis of
But
your
Free thinking is a product of the church, though. That's one thing you have to realize, like historically.
That is objectifying free thinking. Let's take it that free thinking, as physically as the word.
Yes.
Eh.
Because you made a point, we can't interject when you have made a point. I wanted to correct you when you said, I think you said something like, no society
Without myths.
Without myth, yeah.
but we have to be examples.
Name one, and I'll show you their myths.
What about, let's say, China? Just about 25, 30 years ago, China was blessed.
China is the most mythical nation in the world.
Not
Now, as in religiously, as in the myth
That's the thing.
dictating to
Okay,
the.
hold on.
Because the myths, yeah, they're everywhere. Kwekwanansi is a myth in Ghanaian culture.
No, money is a myth. The idea of money is a myth.
Ah, why you say money is a myth?
I think you need to define
Okay.
what a myth, what
Okay.
it means by a myth. Then
Okay, hold on.
Money is a
Mr.
myth.
Definition, can you help me? Let me define the word. Okay, so in anthropological circles, right? When we are looking at societies, right, and creation of societies, the myth is any man-made. Remember, myths are man or man-made. Myths are any man-made ideas that we formulate and give value to, right? That binds us together as a society. We buy into it without question.
I think you are giving so much to myth.
No, I'm not. Then again, you have to understand. Do not think along only one line.
Okay.
When it comes to ideas or the
Ideas,
idea
yeah.
of ideas, ideas are viruses. They are super malleable
And fluid.
They reproduce quickly. They evolve quickly. They are always on the move. Myths, just like he said, money is a myth. We all came together and decided that 20 cities has a value of 20 cities. And we trust that it has a value of 20 cities. It's just paper, but we trust that it has. We all came together and said that we are living in Ghana. Ghana, if you look at it's there, it's a geographical location. But we have been able to come together and say, okay, one, we are living in Ghana. We've created institutions to protect that idea. We've created the ability to protect the idea of Ghana. We've created immigration to protect the idea of Ghana. So we've created things to protect that idea. Same about the idea of God. People have the idea of God and they create institutions to protect that idea of God. Then they create a church. Then they start trying to push all manner of things to protect that idea of God. You understand? That's why I keep making a reference to the state as being either the state is God or the state is not God. Because they are all myths. They are all along the same lines. They are ideas that we buy into, we give value to, and then insist that they exist. Like we insist, like we swear on everything we hold here that Ghana exists. When it only exists in our minds. And we've actually created institutions to protect the idea. And if anybody around comes and says that Ghana does not exist, they will say it's treason.
But the fact is, Ghana doesn't exist. So we are just assigning.
We've created and accepted that it exists.
No, we are just assigning.
Yeah.
So we assign a label to 20 cities and say it is 20 cities. If I take a piece of paper and I write 20 cities on it, does it have the same value? Does it have institutions backing it to say, you know what, if you give this one to somebody who are
Of course, there is a money system.
It won't have the same value. When you buy it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we all agree that
Because money-
this one has this value. We all agree that this one has this value. When inherently, does it have that
I
value?
think our problem is just the word myth.
Because he is overextending the definition of myth.
I'm not. That's the definition.
No, I know. It's
so let's check on
No,
the
that's the
dictionary.
definition of myth.
because you see, you made me check for myth again right now.
A myth.
Please, the moderator is giving
A
us.
myth is a traditional story,
Yes.
especially one concerning the early history of a people or explaining a natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events, or a widely held but false belief or idea.
Widely held but false. Money is not false.
is not false.
Monetary system. We have a monetary system that creates the value.
Yes.
So maybe the word
We have a monetary system that creates the value on the paper.
The value of 20 cedis is not 20 cedis. You know that, right? The value of that 20 cedis note relative.
That is to a certain, of
So
course.
you believe
But then there's a
that-
system that
you all
dictates.
come together and believe that even though this one we know that the value is probably like maybe 1 cow, we all believe that this one is valued at 20 cedis.
I'm coming. You know why I said it's relative to like circumstances? For example, you are seated here. Nobody will buy a whole lot. But wait, that's why I said it's relative. If you are in the desert, you are dying of thirst, and you meet someone with a
You pay for it. Yeah.
at that moment in time, you won't care about the value of the things you are going to get. So that's why I said it's relative.
Is that the only thing that loses its value in those situations?
No.
Like, we say, for instance, right,
Charlie,
there is
read
this
your
myth
part
we
of
have
the
as a
definition
society
that
about
that is mostly
our life.
false.
Well, life is precious. Life is precious. Life is. It's a total myth because when it comes
Widely
to war, we
held
just go
false
from
or idea.
You get it?
But
You see, that,
A misrepresentation of truth. Fictitious or
just keep reading the definition.
exaggerated or idea.
Tiny, please let the moderator read all the definitions
Let me give you all the
of myth.
definitions.
Read it.
Please. Hello.
Let me give
Let
you-
the moderator. Hello. Let the moderator read all the definitions
All
of
the
a myth.
definitions. The other
And
one
let's
says
see.
a misrepresentation of the truth.
That alone, right?
Uh-huh.
That alone puts money in that level.
Don't worry. Let's go ahead.
Bro, all the
An
definitions.
exaggerated or idealized conception of a person or thing. A fictitious or imaginary person or thing. That's all.
So the idealized.
Uh-huh.
So we create this idea and then we put value on it. It's a myth. That's just the definition.
But then it means that you are breaking us down on the ideas. See, we have a money system that creates a value.
Disagree with you
Yeah.
100% because you are right.
Right? Yeah.
Overextending it.
No. So this is the thing, right?
Because, eh,
So this is the thing. I get where you're coming from. We take ideas, right?
Uh-huh.
And we put ideas through the rigor, right? To test them. One of the ways to test those ideas is to stretch them, right? That's why I am able to draw the parallels between, for instance, capitalism and Christianity. I'm able to draw those parallels because I take those ideas, reduce them and stretch them. Then I'm able to see, oh, there are parallels, there are power plays, there are actions that are similar, and it's all, then I can be able to see, okay, so all of these to boil down to this particular things, right? The rabbit and you keep it, we'll come for it. You keep it, we'll come for it.
Don't worry. Anyway,
Once you're able to take ideas like that, then you reduce them. You can be able to see the parallels between them. Like, for instance, one of my favorite rides is between. I hope they are not around. Oh, she's here. It's between feminist ideology, right, and Christianity. You can draw the parallels, and you can see where. Look, almost all ideas, once you're able to draw the parallels, you can see where, if taken to the extreme end, where it's going to appear. Whatever idea it is, once you reduce it like that, you can be able to play around with it.
all right.
Okay. I think we are
done
done for today.
So that's the first question. Thank you.
Further questions?
You can close that up.
Okay, so thank you very much for making this happen and see you next week.